The Entrepreneur's Library, episode 242.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur's Library, the only book-centric podcast that reviews all the top-selling business books and shares authors' perspective firsthand. This is your resource to finding the next great book that will enable you to grow personally and professionally. Welcome your host, Wade Danielson.
Welcome back to the EL. Today we have Ramon Vullings, author of Not Invented Here, Cross-Industry Innovation. Welcome, Ramon, and thank you for joining us on the Entrepreneur's Library.
Thank you.
Before we take a deep dive into your book, Not Invented Here, will you take just a moment to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you personally?
All right, very good. I'm Ramon Vullings. I'm a Dutch guy living in Belgium, so already crossing cultures there. I love to travel, and I have my background in innovation consulting for about 15 years at larger consulting firms. And 10 years ago, I decided to start my own company more on the creative side of innovation. And that has finally led me to a team of 8 people. We are a boutique consulting company, and we focus on nice, elegant combinations for innovation. That's what we do.
Excellent. Well, first off, thank you for sharing that. And now let's jump right into your book, Not Invented Here, Cross-Industry Innovation, which was made available, correct me if I'm wrong, but back in May, just last month of 2015.
Yep, correct. It's just out.
Very good. Well, Ramon, we're going to move quickly, but our whole goal here today is to help the listener, the future reader, get a great idea of what your book is all about before they, invest the time and money into reading it. So the first question I have for you is, what was the inspiration behind writing Not Invented Here?
In our creative consulting work, we combine a lot of ideas, also from different sectors. I've been doing that for years. We have one product that we deliver for customers. It's called ID DJ. So there we mix IDs visually. And together with my colleague, Mark Helleven, with whom I've written this book, we decided it was time now to actually write the book on the stuff that we were doing, is actually introducing concepts from totally different sectors into another sector. So taking a cue from the restaurant business into financials, taking lessons from the train tables into event management. And hence, we now have the book Not Invented Here.
It's such an important question because I want you to have the opportunity to separate your book, your I guess, that we talk about the needle in the haystack. So your book from the other millions that will come out this year. And so what makes your book different from others regarding the same or similar topic?
We decided to take a very visual approach. Not Invented Here has a lot of pictures in it, a lot of funny pictures in which we already illustrate the power of crossing the industry border. We've also decided to keep it a light book with a very simple model, a 3-step model, which I will explain a little bit later. And the book is illustrated with a lot of examples and tools. And the concrete tools are the unique things that people can really use in their daily business if they go out to innovate by learning from other sectors.
Ramon, how did you write the book to be read? Is this one that people can jump in and jump out, cherry-picking information? Or did you really design it to be read from front to back?
No, this is clearly a cherry-picking, a snacking kind of exercising book. Yeah, okay. It's important maybe to only read the introduction to know where you'll be heading off, but for the rest you can just jump off everywhere.
Very good. So we're to my favorite part of the entire interview, and this is where I want to hand over the mic to you for the next 5 to 8 minutes and allow you to give the reader, the future reader, a great idea of what this book is all about. Will you take the next couple of minutes and share?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me outline Not Invented Here, the book on cross-industry innovation, what you can learn from other sectors. In Not Invented Here, we provide the readers with a cool tool, and I specifically say cool tool because there's a lot of really great insights and great tools to bring you to jumpstart your innovation efforts. In the book, we outline the concept of cross-industry innovation, which is a clever way actually to jumpstart your innovation efforts by drawing analogies and transferring approaches between contexts. That's jumping actually beyond the borders of your own industry, your sector, your area, your domain, your business. And you can draw these kind of analogies on various levels. You can do it on your primary, on your products or services, on your secondary level, on processes, on strategies, on business models, on culture, and even on leadership. Now, cross-industry innovation, the driver is that organizations need to go from best practice thinking to next practice thinking. And a lot of disruption, actually, in many sectors that we see, comes from totally unexpected areas, unexpected sectors. So the competition of the future actually comes from a different sector. And that's what we outline in our book, is that we open up the minds of the reader to see the potential, the incredible potential there is in next practice thinking. To do that, we have a few steps that we take you through the whole book. And the main model for cross-industry innovation is concept, combine, create. 3 steps, 3 phases. First, the concept phase. That's the art of questioning. That's also chapter 2 in the book, where we help people to ask more provocative and more beautiful questions, as we say. This is also the chapter where we extend people's knowledge network beyond the borders of their area, and to finally see that someone else has solved your problem already. That's the key of the phase concept. The second phase is combine. Now, how do you combine different areas? And the key here is to learn the right tactic. So copy-paste is not the right tactic. It should be copy, adapt, paste. So you should modify or integrate or change an element and then apply that to your business. We have various cases on that. And there we also show in the book that you can learn not only from different companies, but you can also learn from nature, from the arts, from music, from all kinds of, sometimes maybe even weird feeling areas. You can also actually learn from illegal business or organized crimes. So don't take the actual literal business practices, but you can learn from the concepts on how they organize their activities. In the combine phase, we focus first on inspiring industries and smart sectors. That's on the industry level. Then we zoom in on company level, asking what would X do? And X means that other great company. And finally, we focus on some common business challenges, like attracting more customers. How do other sectors or other companies or other individuals also in some cases, or attract different customers, reduce cost, organize their supply chain. And that brings us to the end of the combine phase. Then we step into the last part, which is the create. So the model is concept, combine, create. In the create, you need to see that it's not the survival of the fittest, but it's survival of the most fitting. And that means that the way that you adopt your solutions, taking them from one area to another one, is crucial to be able to fit it into your area. Now, with that knowledge, you can decide to remix your own business or to remix someone else's business based on your own merits, on your own knowledge, on your own tools, on your own skills. And that's an interesting thing that we see and that we also have with a lot of our clients in our daily consulting work. See, okay, we are now in let's say in sector X, so we're in financials, and we see a lot of financial fintech, financial technology companies coming into our space. What do? Do we prepare for the attack, or do we even ourselves go out with our let's say with our assets to another sector to see if we can maybe challenge that? And that's an interesting play which we outline in the last part, in the create part, and also chapter 8, remixing your or another industry. And finally, the book Cross-Industry Innovation actually helps you to increase your match sensitivity. So where should I start? Because cross-industry innovation is directly between, let's say, the free brainstorming on the one side and totally structured, mostly technical innovation methods on the other side, which are called SIT, like systematic inventive thinking, and TRIZ. And cross-industry innovation tries to be exactly in the middle there. Let me give you a few small examples. The BMW iDrive system. This is the knob in your BMW that you can use to navigate or to use your onboard computer. That was taken as a cue from the gaming industry. What we do for event management is also a nice one, where we see that event managers have now taken a cue from the railways, having events start at, let's say, 9:23 or 9:27, to show that actually the train, the virtual train, mental train, is going to leave at that point. And that's actually an interesting thing to see, that we see attendance rising because people have the feeling, all right, someone is going to speak at exactly 10:17, so that must be something special. And these are little cues you can take on process level and all the way to culture, to leadership, to see what we can learn from other areas. The book itself has incredible lot of little bite-sized stories to help you to explain things. And at the end, we show that it's easier to sell totally new concepts by using examples, successful examples also from other sectors. So it's easier to implement a new business model if you say it already worked in sector X or Y. And that's what we're trying to do with this book, to provide the reader with a lot of inspiring stories and also concrete tools. Let me highlight one of the tools. It's the business synonym tool, where we ask the reader and show a whole list of synonyms for that specific same business topic that they work on. Let's take customer as an example. So you have a customer in one sector, the other sector calls it a client, the next sector calls it a patient, the next sector calls it a student, and that's how it continues throughout, let's say, about 50 words that will help you to trigger, hey, that's actually interesting. Why do we in our sector, all our competitors, we attract our customers in exactly the same way? Why can't we take a cue from how universities try to select top talent, or how hospitals manage their patients? And these are links that we make with the book, and that we help the reader to explore themselves. So that's about a little outline of the whole book, not invented here, cross-industry innovation.
So, Ramon, you did a fantastic job of taking us through exactly, what the book's all about. And so I don't want to shortcut that. And you've put it into this nice little package with a nice little bow. And now we're going to ask you to take it even one step further. And that's, if the reader can only take away one concept, principle, or action item out of your entire book and everything you just discussed with us, what do you personally want that to be?
The best concept to keep in mind is don't copy paste, but copy, adapt, paste. Because we see a lot of people just trying to copy a model fully from one sector to the other, but they forget to really fine tune it to make it matching, fitting with their specific area. So don't copy paste, copy, adapt, paste.
Excellent. Well, that's, my next question for you is, do you have a favorite quote from your book? And that's quote worthy right there for them to go back and really make sure that that's not something that they just listen, but they actually implement. And so, but I'll ask anyway, do you have a favorite quote from your book? Something that's resonated? I know the book's only been out for a little while now, but maybe something that's resonated with your audience. And we take a minute to explain what that quote means to you.
I guess it's the same quote as I just indeed outlined, is don't copy paste, but copy, adapt, paste, is to make sure that the solutions that you're trying to take from another sector are fitted for your audience, or for your process, or for your organization, or for your market. And that's the key to figure out where the power is. In many cases, we see companies or even total sectors who are a bit wary of the potential disruption. If we take the Googles, Airbnbs of this world coming into your space, that's of course a threat to many, but everybody has the ability to copy, adapt, paste themselves, though taking cues from another sector as well.
So thank you for sharing that. We'll put that in the show notes at the elpodcast.com. So again, people can go back and reflect on that further. And also what will be in the show notes is the answer to this next question, which Ramon, we're going to ask you, if there was only one book you could recommend to our listeners based on the way that it's changed your life, maybe created a paradigm shift or a lifestyle shift. Which book would you suggest?
I would suggest the book Flow by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. And that's a fantastic book on creativity and happiness, and how he nicely describes that moment that you are in total flow, that you forget everything, that both your challenge and your skills are at optimum level, how these things come together. And I think Mihaly, I even met him myself at a conference once. He's a nice guy, and he really has a very clear understanding of describing the exact feeling that I also experience from time to time. So I think he did that really great, and he even provides some good insights on how to focus that you can remain in flow as long as you can.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that recommendation. And Ramon, we're to our last question for you today, and that's basically just that before we depart, can you recommend the best way for our listeners to not only get more information on you, but get some additional information on your book as well?
The best way to do it is to go to www.crossindustryyinnovation.com. And that's the website of the book, Not Invented Here. And on the website, you will find different examples, cross-industry examples, what one sector can learn from the other, also visually. And you can download many of the tools that we've also explained in the book for yourself to use. And the funniest thing there is a cross-industry jackpot that you can run. So put in your activity right there, and we will present you with some cross-industry insights to think of new product or new services for your area.
Ramon, you did an awesome job today, and thank you for coming on and sharing your book with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening in today. If you'd like more information on Ramon or his book, Not Invented Here, check out the show notes at the elpodcast.com.
Looking for your next book idea? Head over to the elpodcast.com, where Wade shares his amazing resource, the top 10 business books recommended by over 500 entrepreneurs, with you for free. That's the elpodcast.com. Till the next time, keep it on the EL.